we cannot predict when and how soon COVID will end. We must all, in the sector of education, particularly us in our VTCs, technical, vocational and technical field, to try and make e-learning a truly integrated part of our methods. As we integrate the e-learning, we must also make facilities that speak to the simulation, to have simulation labs. E-learning has to be integrated as a method of training in our VTCs. Yes, we don't have resources, but we've got to do it step by step. Why? Because we don't know as to whether COVID is with us permanently or COVID is something, is a facade that is passing. But I don't think it's passing. And even if it were to pass, it is the right thing to do, because after all, we are moving towards competencies and knowledge and skills that speak to the fourth industrial revolution. And technology is the way to go. What we need to do is to have a program that will help our instructors to be upskilled in how to maneuver these gadgets. It is for NTA to identify those instructors who may need upskilling before we start rolling this process of rolling out the e-learning across our VTCs.
As at Nakayale VTC, it was not really of a challenge. The first thing I do is just to put the theoretical part of the practical, which is introducing various components that is involved in the practical. What do I mean by components? So students were already familiar to the workshop, right? Because in January, February, that time was still fine. COVID was still under control until we got it in March, whereby they were told to go home. So it was quite a challenge. So what I did is I had to put for them a picture of a panel, because they're already familiar to this picture. They saw this already the time they were in the workshop. It's possible. We are still doing it, and we are continuing. And statistics has it that in exams, in final assessment, November last year, we have acquired a big pass rate in practical, although learning took place on e-learning.
Nakayale VTC Health and Safety Officer Namiam Jonas Simeon said that the students' current module platform offers free COVID-19 courses for all trainees, provides useful information on the pandemic. She further explained that in compliance with COVID-19 regulations, the center has split sessions and built additional 17 toilets.
Yes, the center also went on lockdown because all other institutions were on lockdown. And for us now to restart with training or to resume training, we needed to make sure that we had all the measures to control this pandemic. So what we did as a center, we have implemented the hand washing facilities. We went out of place to source for funds and also for good suppliers to supply with hand washing facilities, of which, if you can see around the center, we have facilities where students are able to wash their hands without touching any component at all. It's automated, and I think it worked for us really. We also made the provision of personal protective equipment, of which were the student masks and the staff masks as well. We were making that provision, so we were giving on a weekly basis.
Nakayale VTC is one of the fastest growing public vocational training centers since its inception in 2016, with a current intake of 400 trainees and 40 staff members. It is for this reason that the center has undertaken numerous projects to fully implement its mandate and ensure sufficient access. The minister also visited the center's expansion underway and remarked that she was impressed with the progression.